friends, we have been discussing the future tense. If and you are the two tense markers for the future tense. We have been conjugating verbs with these tense markers. We have come across three types of verbs. The verbs which take u, the verbs which take if, and another category which take if as the tense marker but undergo a change. For instance, she takes o. Another verb, எழுது, both take o, and then the conjugation happens to be a normal one. படி, இரு. படி, to read. இரு, to be. You must always remember these two verbs. In all the languages, these two are the basic forms in all the languages. One is to do and the other is to be. So here we find padi and iru except up, but a change takes place. This up gets doubled before accepting the personal marker. So the first category is accepting u without any change. The second category is accepting if with a change. And the third category is accepting if but undergoing change within themselves. Kal becomes karpen, il becomes ir. So also nil becomes nirpen. So if you remember these three categories, you will be able to easily conjugate any verb. In the last class, I suggested an exercise to have all the persons, both singular and plural, conjugated. This is first person singular. What will be the plural? The personal marker will be om. So shai plus u plus om, shaivom. and then we go to second person. Second person singular will have I. Second person singular person marker is I. So it becomes Shayvai, and plural is Shayvirgal. Shay is the root, the verb is a tense marker, and this one is personal marker. First person singular, Shayvain. First person plural, Shayvom. Second person singular, Shayvai. Second person plural, Shayvirgal. In all this you will note that the combination is a natural one. This is a consonant, it accepts the vowel easily. So there is no change in the conjugated form. Masculine. The marker will be on. Shayvan. What will be the personal marker for feminine gender? The remember? It will be all. So it will end with Shayval. Third person singular masculine Shayvan. Feminine Shayval. What will be the plural? The remember? In plural, you don't have any difference in the gender. So it will be Shayvargal. Third person plural for human beings. I did mention in the beginning itself that there is a separate category called honorific singular for the third person. So what is it? Do you remember? Our is honorific singular for third person singular for human beings. What is the personal marker for our? Or. That is to say, you remove this plural suffix and you get the honorific singular. Our Shayvar. Now, we have already seen the changes in the verbs when they accept the tense mark. Discuss the first person. We have discussed the second person, both singular and plural. We have discussed the third person, singular and plural of the human beings, and also the honorific singular. Now, what is left out? Third person, singular, neuter gender. I will take up later on. We saw that ip and u are the two tense markers. They stand for the future tense. We have seen verbs which have taken u or up, and whatever took ip did undergo a change and will have a doubling of this hard consonant. And also we saw another set where the verb undergoes a change within itself. Naturally, a question must arise in your minds. I hope you did have that question. Is there not any verb which accepts if but does not undergo any change? That is, accepting if, they get doubled. Accepting this if, the verb changes itself to a certain extent. Is there not any verb which accepts if as it is and get the conjugation in the normal way? Yes, there are three verbs. Convene, con, to see. There is another one. One is to eat. So this also one more. Tin. This also means to eat. Thin plus ip plus ain, thin bane. See the change in the sound. Con plus ip plus ain, con bane. Un plus ip plus ain, un bane. Thin plus ip plus ain, thin bane. Middle, that is in between two letters, it gets a soft sound. And note, all these are consonants. Can you find out any other similarity between these three letters? They are just one and the same, and this belongs to the nasal type. So these three verbs, of course there are a few which you find in literature, which accept the tense marker naturally without undergoing any change either outside or inside. Con is to see. You have already seen a verb which means to see. Do you remember that? Par. Par is to see. So, what will happen? This gets doubled. You see here, these two verbs meaning the same, taking the same tense marker, but change a little. One accepts it normally and the other accepts it with a condition of this consonant getting doubled. So these things you have to practice without any break. There are two exercises which you have to do. One is to conjugate all these verbs with all the persons, first person, second person and third person. And also the other exercise is more important. To have all the forms, all the tense forms fully conjugated. Why is it necessary? Shay, it accepts Kiru becomes Shaygire. In the past tense, it accepts it and it becomes Shayde. In the future tense, Shayvain. So when you have this exercise, you will systematically know the similarity of pattern. In the present tense, it does not undergo any change. So also in the past, and so is the case with the future. Iru. This also accepts Kiru in the present tense. What is the change that takes place here? This ka gets doubled. Ik gets doubled. So it becomes Irukkiren. One more example of this type. Padi, to read. Padikkiren. Iru accepts it, the past. So what should it be? It has doubled itself here. So there must be some sort of doubling here. Instead, the doubling does take place, but it undergoes a change. Iru plus it plus yen, iru plus it, in between the relative letter of it, irundhen. Here you have an example of a verb which does undergo a change in the present tense and has two changes made in the past tense. In future tense, it accepts up and gets doubled. Iruppen. So, irukkiren, irundhen and iruppen. In all the three forms, you find the doubling of the tense marker. And this has an additional change of it become in. Knowledge of conjugation. We have come across two verbs which undergo a change before taking up any tense marker. Do you remember? Va and ta are these two verbs. I have been explaining words and then put them in a category. That is to say, if you are familiar with one category of words, you can easily distinguish the other verbs of the same type. So these two undergo a change initially, that is before accepting the tense marker. This becomes var and then kiru. This is a cementing sound, a letter that is introduced to cement the two sounds. So it becomes varugiren. So is ta, it becomes tar takes u and then the tense marker tarugiren. Both of them accept it in the past and undergo a change. First of all, it becomes va. It takes up an additional sound, a related sound to ut. Vande. So also tande. But both the verbs retain this type of change in accepting the future tense mark. They accept u, naturally they undergo the change as they did earlier. Va becomes var and then takes up u and accepts the tense marker. Varuven. So also taruven. So this is another category of verbs which have some changes introduced while conjugating. So it will help you if you can try conjugating these verbs in all the tenses at the same time. So you arrive at a common point that whichever verb which doubles in the present will get doubled in the past and so also in the future. We will have the rest in the next. Thank you.